It was a cold, grim morning in the city of Cirrus. Seaborne fog rolled through the ancient streets like the mighty breath of God. Entrian lamplighters hurried to their work, placing their hands on the posts and casting 2 successive enchantments, one to bring the flames to life, the other to set a shield that would protect them from the elements. A thick layer of snow covered the ground, but worse weather was coming. Only a few days ago the priests had declared that Eriaris would soon endure one of the most punishing winters in recent history. The residents of the West Country were already feeling the effects. Freezing temperatures had shattered windows and felled trees with heavy coats of ice. The sick and injured were filling up infirmaries in every town and city. The northern schools were preparing to close indefinitely, along with many of the temples. Those who lived in the Lockhorn Mountains farther to the east were urged to leave their homes and pass the season with friends or relatives if they could. Many had been able to use enchantments to ease their situations, reinforce bridges, calm their animals, keep snow from piling up against the doors, but only for so long. It was this severity of weather that made the boy racing through the streets such a strange sight. In his thin shirt, patched trousers, and shabby pair of shoes, he was practically begging to be made ill. The lamplighters shouted at him to go indoors. Others merely clucked their tongues and shook their heads in disapproval. The boy seemed not to notice his pitiable condition, but bowed his head against the chill wind and ran on, tightly clutching the note in his hand. When he finally arrived at the gates of the Eriaris estate, he almost collided with them before he could stop. Ahead, a woman in a black veil was being helped down a flight of stairs to a waiting carriage. The boy grasped the bars of the gate with one hand and held the note high with the other. "Audience!" he cried. "Audience with my lady, by my master's command." The woman paused to look at him, then nodded to one of her servants. A young man in a long coat hurried to the gate, perturbed. "What do you want?" "I have a message for the Lady Madara." "Give it to me." "No, sir. I was instructed to hand it to her myself." The boy showed him the front of the note. It had been sealed with blue wax. The symbol of a flame was stamped into the center. The servant nodded. "All right, but make it quick." As soon as the gate was open, the boy set off running again and managed to reach the lady just as she arrived at the carriage door. Without a word, he handed her the note. She tossed back her veil and broke the seal. No one watching her wrinkled, solemn face could tell whether the news was good or bad, but her steel-grey eyes shone bright as she looked at the boy again. "Come with me." She led him away from the carriage and into a vast garden of hedges, statues, and flowers, still in bloom amid the snow and ice. They stopped beside a frozen fountain, well beyond the hearing of the curious servants. "Well," she said, turning back to him. "Another colonist is dead, milady." She stiffened. Her hand went to the gold locket she wore around her neck. "When?" 2 days ago. My master only just received the word." "And is he certain they are dead? Absolutely certain?" "Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Marlis himself delivered the body to the Lady Seherine in Vatera. Someone tipped him off that the colonists were seen near Haraway, and since he was already in the West Country on business, he got the idea to go after him himself. He came upon them on a mountain road, and they scattered like roaches. One twisted their ankle trying to get away, and rather than get arrested, they blew their own brains out with a pistol." "I assumed there was a name attached to this corpse." "No word on that yet, ma'am. But they did find that Haraway had harboured him."